Best tech gadgets for collecting. If you have any of these old devices collecting dust in a random closet or drawer, you could be sitting on a goldmine. Welcome to Techverse. If you enjoy this type of content, then subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on any of our latest and greatest uploads. The original iPhone. In the summer of 2007, Apple released the very first iPhone. Steve Jobs unveiled it at the Macworld convention earlier in the year, and consumers couldn't wait to get their hands on one. It sold for $499 for the 4GB model, and $599 for the 8GB model, about half the price for the latest iPhone model today. This iconic phone paved the way for the smartphone market, so collectors appreciate its place in history. Depending on its condition, this old smartphone can fetch upwards of $1,000 on eBay. If you're an iPhone devotee, make sure you know these 17 hidden iPhone hacks you'll wish you knew sooner. Nintendo 64. Released in 1996, the Nintendo 64 was named after its 16-bit central processing unit and took the gaming world by storm, especially for Gen Xers and millennials. Because of the nostalgia factor, if you still have an original Nintendo 64, you might garner some serious interest in it. Bidding prices start around $100, but if you have a console in one of the limited edition colors, or any color other than black or gray, it could be worth more. And don't forget to look for the accompanying gaming cartridges. According to Frangioni, some of the games are worth thousands, depending on how rare they are. Donkey Kong Country is one of the holy grails Nintendo 64 games, he says. Feeling nostalgic? Check out the most popular toy the year you were born. Sony Walkman. Thanks to the Guardians of the Galaxy and Stranger Things, anything 80s is back in style in a big way. This handy little device allowed music lovers to carry around and listen to their own personal soundtracks without a cord, which seems basic to us now, but was pretty revolutionary back then. The Walkman retailed at $150 in 1979. Add in the cost for batteries and cassette tapes, and having a Walkman was quite the investment. These days, Sony Walkmans in good working condition are listed online for more than $1,300 on Etsy. Hey, you gotta play those old mixtapes somehow. Next, check out these vintage old computers that could be worth a fortune. Tamagotchi 1996. These little virtual pets were all the rage in the mid-90s. Created by Japanese toy maker Bandai, they quickly garnered a cult following in Japan, America, and Europe, since they were the perfect solution for parents whose children wanted a pet but weren't ready for the responsibility of real pet ownership. The digital pets needed to be fed, cleaned, and played with to be happy. And if you didn't give them the right amount of attention, they evolved into more demanding adults. The company released newer versions in 2017, which retail for around $30 on Amazon. However, if you have the original 1996 Tamagotchi, you can get around $200 for a standard one, or thousands for a rare one on eBay. Nintendo Super Nintendo, also known as the Super NES or the SNES. The Super Nintendo was Nintendo's second programmable home console, released in 1990. This version was special because it had advanced graphics and sound capabilities. Plus, it introduced a slew of iconic games that are still beloved today, such as Street Fighter, Donkey Kong Country, and Mortal Kombat. In its heyday, 49.1 million units were sold worldwide. These consoles can fetch an average of $150 today, more if you have any of the original game cartridges and controllers. For more, and more recent fun and games, pursue these 45 cool tech gifts you'll want to keep for yourself. Nintendo Game Boy. The original Game Boy pioneered the way for handheld gaming devices in the Nintendo family. Released in 1989 for $89.99, the device was an 8-bit handheld console with a monochromatic screen. Despite its basic design, it quickly became a favorite among gamers. Nintendo released a color version, the Game Boy Color, 10 years later. Still, the Game Boy is one of the most recognizable devices from the 1990s. And while the starting bid on eBay averages around $75 new, unused ones can go for thousands. And with that, we've reached the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for content just like it.